Now let's look at our focus for today, basically child protection. Now 9 men from Edrakota, one of the fishing communities at Afram Plains in the eastern region, are in custody of the police for allegedly using children for fishing and hazardous work on the Volta Lake. In an interview with JoyNews, the Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Eastern Region Police, Francis Gomado, stated that their undercover investigations revealed there were 11 suspects and 24 suspected trafficked children. He says some of the boat owners got information about the rescue mission and sent the children to different locations before the arrival of the security personnel. We'll bring you details of the arrest, very dramatic one, shortly. But first, here excerpt of this hotline documentary we brought you 2 years ago on the dangers trafficked children are exposed to on the Volta Lake.
Many Ghanaian children are trafficked to work in the fishing industry, carrying out hazardous tasks. Child labor and child trafficking are very common in Ghana's fishing industry. Each year, the International Organization for Migration, IOM, reports numerous deaths of children who have been trafficked to perform hazardous labor in the Volta Lake. As Hotline moves through these fishing communities, we discover many more people who have survived the painful experience of being child slaves on the Volta. Former PTA chairman of Ayetepa JHS, John Obodai, was also trafficked to work on the Volta Lake when he was 8 years old. He is still haunted by his days on the lake, especially his close shave with death.
We do catch nets and ropes, and it may hook under, maybe far about 12 feet and over, 24, 25 and over. But they'll force you to go down there to remove the net, and many people died in that event.
I have come to the Volta Lake. It's the biggest man-made lake in Africa. I see a number of little boys either sitting or standing in the canoes, sitting on the lake. Their jobs are to dive to untangle nets, scoop water from the canoes, or help to drag nets. Many of them are hungry and malnourished. They have already spent hours on the lake. The marks on the skins of some of them are a reflection of the dangers they fought in untangling nets in the water. The hope of a better life for each of these children keeps fading by the day. It's worrying when you consider the fact that Ghana was the first country in the world to ratify the Convention on Rights of the Child. Today, the country still faces severe problems with child trafficking. The reason these parents give for selling their children is to help alleviate family poverty.
Well, we've been trying to get the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection to speak to this matter. They've all turned down our request. But let's now hear from Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Eastern Region Police, Francis Gomado.
We sent an undercover detective to go actually unravel the circumstances, and they went and brought a feedback with pictorial evidence to that effect. Based on the intelligence we have gathered on the ground, the operational ground, sought to suggest that they whisked the children away. But the suspects that we have in our custody now, there are 9. The fact is, pictorially and based on the evidence of the ground, they were the people who were keeping those trafficked children. Those people who are keeping them are not their biological parents. Their parents took money from them, and they are to go and work for their masters to recoup those monies. Definitely, it's under forced labor.
Let's get on the phone lines now. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba is part of a team of journalists embedded with the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit of the Ghana Police Service. Maxwell joins me on the line. Hello, Maxwell.
Yeah. Hello.
Maxwell, you've been involved in this operation. Tell us a bit more about it.
Well,
Maxwell, you'll have to reposition. It's quite difficult to hear you at the moment. Reposition. Let's try this again.
Oh, is it okay now?
So give us some details. Give us further details about this operation you've been embarking on with the Ghana Police Service.
Well, the operation codename uploaded is purposely to rescue some children who are being used for hazardous work and fishing on the Lake Volta. So we are told by the police that before they moved in, they had done their investigation, the undercover investigation, and that revealed that 11 children are being used, 24 children, I should say, are being used on the Volta Lake for fishing and other activities. And out of for the 24 children, 11 boat masters, these are fishermen, older people who are using the children for fishing. So usually they go into the lake, we are told, to fish, sometimes also to remove some of them that entangled or some spam inside the tree. Hazardous work, we are told, by the police. So after this investigation, a team was put together to embark on this rescue mission. So they moved from the Papaboto landing site, and then moved about 2 hours on the big boat down to the island, community called Edrakota in the Afram Plains constituency. And there went through, they knew what they were about, but before it got to the banks of the river, they had a booklet, and inside that booklet they had pictures of all children who had been identified to, used by the boat owners.
So Maxwell, earlier we understand that what happened was that the masters, if you like, or those who keep these children, those for whom these children work, kept them away from the team because they had information the team was arriving, and then they were transporting them back to their parents, and that was when their arrest was made. Quite dramatic scenario there. Break it down further. Let's understand how it all happened.
Very dramatic, as you rightly mentioned. So on Saturday, when the team went to the community, surprisingly, they didn't find any child in range. The age without covered here that capacity. Children between 5, 10, 15 were not in the community. So not even to talk about the biological children or the inhabitants of that particular, community. And that was a big issue to, security personnel who were there on the ground. Apparently, we saw that information leaked to the residents, so they had prior information that the Operation Uploading team were actually added to the so it's proud that we had moved some of the children to adjoining communities, and then some of them also take them to the room when they saw the 4 boats and one people, carry the smell to the island. Actually, so there was no way the men could, identify the children and even rescue, them. It took some time for them to ask questions and all of that, but people were still not, open. So 9 suspects who were uncovered by the investigation were brought to another location where they were interrogated by the Criminal Investigation Department. So they gave police information that yes, they confessed to using children for fishing and lake Volta. And then they promised to bring back the children. But later, around dawn, sometime around 3 a.m. today, that was when we got information that a vehicle has been found at the book.
Okay.
Now, we are told that 13 out of the 24 children targeted to escape from fishing on Lake Volta were rescued, and this
have been rescued.
According to
the line is not as smooth as we'll have it, Maxwell. But quickly, also, you said 2 people have been arrested. Is this correct?
Yes. So we understand that the 9 suspects, I think about 2 hours ago, the interrogation ended about 2 hours ago. That's for the other 2 suspects and they are assisted to this investigation.
Unfortunately, it's been quite jerky on the phone there with Maxwell Agbagba, but essentially you get the import of that information. 13 out of 24 children have been rescued, and about 2 of those who had these children, or those who accompanied these children on that trip, have been taken by the police to assist in investigations. So we're not sure whether it is an arrest or not.